All right, welcome to, I don't even know what number this is. Sorry, I just closed my window so you won't hear the sounds of outside. All right, 78. I believe this is episode 78 of My FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there is a blog, which is myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. There's a transcript, which is at rss.com, also myfxbuddies. All the podcast, Apple, all those sites, myfxbuddies. YouTube, if you are listening to this on YouTube, yes, I said listening, because the image you see is a static image. And this one, I'm going to be showing some pictures of things that I couldn't post for whatever reason. So you may want to go to this blog to see these pictures. All right. And so wherever you're listening, there's a more box, especially if on YouTube, the box that appears to be a video. Look below that. There's a word more. Click on the word more, and another box comes up and the link will be there. And anywhere you're listening, it's info, intro, description, anything like that. The link to the blog will be in there. And finally, Rumble is where the video is hosted. So some people like just going to Rumble, just watching the video there. All right, that's that. So let's get into it. It's back to work here in America. 4th of July is over, and if you had a really good job, you left work Wednesday. It was a half day, right? And you didn't come back. Well, actually, you're not going back till Monday, which at the time that I'm recording this, it is actually Monday, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning. July 8th. But other people were back to work on Friday, right? So I was kind of lazy over the weekend, just relaxing. But anyway, spending time talking and sharing with family. All right, sorry about that. I tried to do an edit. I think I messed it up, but whatever. It was nothing important. All right, so now back to work, like I said. All right, so we'll get into the article. Well, let me just tell you. So over the weekend, it was very busy for Iraq. They had, they celebrated something on Saturday. I can't remember what it was, but nothing to do with the RV. Sunday was Islamic New Year. Oh, Saturday was a lot. There's this guy, Hakeem. I forget his first name. He's a holy man, but he's a politician, and he has lots of followers. He has lots of followers, and they were out in the street. He gave speeches, and wow. But I don't like him. I don't know. I just get, not that I've ever met him, I just get bad vibes from him. But anyway, so yeah. But what we're going to talk about is, will the exchange rate reach 1,600 dinars? So, on the last, if you listen to the last podcast, they had introduced the fact that the Federal Reserve cut off trading in yuan. So, where there had been pressure removed from the dollar because some of the trading was being done in yuan, guess what? Those transactions have to go back to dollars, right? So that's putting pressure. And then the travelers, there's two types of travelers. There's ones going back home. There's ones going back home. Then there's a new holiday that's coming up called Arboretum. So they'll be coming in to Iraq or through Iraq. Actually, though, I think it's in Iraq. The shrine that they end up at is actually in Iraq. But anyway, so people are going to need dollars, except one thing I'll show you that's very interesting in my opinion. Okay, so I scrolled down here to show you many of these articles, and I'm not going to go over all of them. The reason I chose this one, the 1600, is because that will spark fear in the people who go to the parallel market or black market or whatever you want to call it to buy dollars. So this is an economic expert, there's the name, confirmed that the dollar exchange rate in the parallel market may reach 1600 dinars in the coming days after the central bank reduced the money supply. And what was that? I believe that was cutting off the yuan transactions. So I know I'm an idiot. I'm so unintelligent. Whatever. That's why I said I believe. I don't know that for a fact. And we still have. They're not going to start selling the dollars to the travelers until the 14th. So 6 days. We have 6 more days. They've already done extremely high auctions, rather. So that's not helping. And what's the other thing? There's one more thing. Well, anyway, the other thing I was going to tell you, Monday morning in one of the places, they're selling dollars for 1,502.5 dinars per dollar. So they're already over 1,500 dinars per dollar. And like I said, they're not going to start selling the dollar to the travelers through legitimate means until the 14th. So could it rise to 1,600? I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. Because then the prices, even though it shouldn't, the prices of things start to go up. And, it just makes life harder for the poor or lower income Iraqis. So now here's a different, okay, either this is a different person here or they're just spelling the guy's name different, which they do. So it probably is the same person, but they just spelled his name a different way here. He said that the parallel exchange rate in the local market changes as a result of supply and demand, noting that it is expected that the value of the dinar will decrease against the dollar in the coming days and reach 1,600 dinar barrier. Okay, so see, he flipped it to 1,600 dinar and it is decreasing. That means even though that number is higher, the value of the dinar is decreasing and the dollar value is increasing, right? So he added the reduction in the sale of cash dollars in the local market by the central bank is the main factor behind the rise in the value of the dollar. But what changed? Nothing changed except them getting rid of trade in yuan, right? And the price will depend on the provision of hard currency from sources other than the central bank, which are very limited and almost non-existent. The central bank decided to prevent exchange companies from giving dollars to travelers at their headquarters, but rather limited them to airports only, with the aim of preventing them from being exploited by some parties. All right, so there's lots of articles out there about that. And if you go to the blog and you see, that was a short one. There's some longer ones with more, what is it? Bloviation. I mean, that's the point of it right there, right? That's the gist of it. You could say more if you want, but Yeah, so that's why that's the top article. Okay, so Iranian ambassador after meeting Barzani. Why did the Iranian ambassador, who probably isn't even going to be in office, um, why did he have to meet Barzani in Baghdad? Why couldn't he go to Kurdistan and meet him? I don't know. But it says Um, Iran's relations with Kurdistan region are old, deep-rooted, and growing. Growing what, though? Growing in more animosity or more friendly, right? Um, and I think, is it this one? No, let's see. This one? There's, well, there's an article. Remember I said, you probably don't remember, but before Barzani came to Baghdad, he authorized Turkey to bomb this part in Kurdistan. Oh, I can't find it. Oh, shoot. Well, whatever. Um, maybe it's this one. Let me see. Yeah, see here? Prime Minister's advisor. This is a different one, not the financial advisor. Turkish operations in northern Iraq coordinated with the government. So that just blows my mind. But anyway, so apparently they met, apparently his trip was very fruitful. Last chance, Daddy Barzani conveyed an American message to Sudani's government and the factions. So, see, that's how they do it. He just said right there. So even though Daddy Barzani didn't go to America, see, look how similar their names are. I don't know how to say this name. And then here's the one. I think this is the son, Barzani. But anyway, whichever one just came to America. And I tell you guys that all the time. That's why things take so long, because they don't put things in writing. They meet and they go, okay, now I'm telling you this. You go back and you tell this person this. You go back and you tell Iran this, right? So that way we don't see all these people meeting with America, so it doesn't look like we're meeting with them, but technically we are, right? Anyway, so if you want to read that, you can. That's there. That was before there is a new Iranian president. I don't know his name. Eventually I'll learn it, because I believe we're going to be here for a while. But anyway, yeah. So new Iran, and they say he's a reformist, so I have to learn what that means. But they say whatever they want to say. It's the old guy that still runs the country. Anyway, let's see. Government source announces the amount of debts. Here they're announcing some money that they got back. Here's another article. The central bank in Erbil debunks fears and oh, the central bank in Erbil debunks fears and speculations about the localization of salaries in the region. So they still can't believe, even though they had a victory in the court, it takes a while for the people to believe, you know. All right, advisor to the Prime Minister, government programs to support digital transformation and artificial intelligence. So look at this hand gesture here. Isn't that interesting? I know what that means when our people do it. I wonder if it means the same thing for theirs. But anyway, so they're going to start teaching AI in school, and yeah, so we'll see. How much is Iraq's loan from the IMF? Who cares? But if you want to read that, it's there. Because again, he's saying they've paid off. Matter of fact, this is interesting because I believe here, but certainly there are long-term development loans from the World Bank that are still in place. So remember, this is Mohammed Saleh, the financial advisor to the Prime Minister, came out and said, we have paid all our loans off. And now, well, the short-term ones, okay, we paid those off, but we still have these long-term development loans. Oh, yeah. All right. Prime Minister Advisor. Yeah. So here's another one. I think this is a little, not about the same length, but another one in case you want to read it about them zeroing out the short-term loans, but they still have long-term development loans. All right. Here, this is a pretty big deal if you'd like to read this. It's Samir Nasari. Samir Nasari. I think I got it right. The Iraqi private sector and improving the investment environment in the National Development Plan. This is for 4 years. And the draft of, this D should be up here. Look at that. During the past 3 months. I don't know why that happened. The draft of the plan, which addressed in detail the main challenges facing the Iraqi private sector, right? So this is mostly about the private sector and the main objectives aimed at achieving its effective contribution to improving the investment environment. And there's 9 points down here, and most of them are done, at least implemented. See, in the number 8, it says activating. That's the last stage. They approve, implement, and then activate, right? So if you want to read that, you can. Here, this is interesting. U.S. messages to Iraqi leaders. Dollar cash flow may stop. And why was this? Is this? Oh yeah, look how small he is. Oops, forgive me. I shouldn't point that out. But look, here's Sadani. And here's here's Barzani. He's even smaller than Sadani. But anyway, all right. He sent messages. So Daddy Barzani sent messages to Iraqi political leaders stating that the entry of some factions into, I think I can say this, Israeli-Iranian conflict may prevent the flow of cash dollars into Iraq. And you see why I say they're using the RV as a carrot and stick? And Port Iraq, they're in the middle, right? This is Israel, which I often say ice cream land, right? And Iran. And why would that happen? Because it's pretty likely there's going to be some kind of conflict in Lebanon, and Iran will come to the defense of Lebanon. So they're not just saying this just to be saying it. There's reasons. But yeah, so that happened. You might want to read that. There's some other words in here that I really don't want to say. All right. Sadani congratulates the Iranian president-elect. You can read about that, or I'm sure that was probably in our news. Let's see. We're still on Saturday. This was pretty interesting. Parliamentary finance. Oh, Parliament comes back on July 10th, maybe July 9th, July 10th. So that's this week. So we'll see if they vote on anything. Parliamentary finance. Oil companies' dues added to budget tables. Government coordination to resume exports. So there's some new numbers. There's a definition or an explanation of some of the new numbers that have been added. Now, will they follow through with resuming the oil? I don't know. And also, they talked about if there's an agreement reached between the federal government, which is Baghdad, and the region to resume oil exports, then they also will coordinate to find a mechanism to disperse those amounts and pay the dues of oil companies. So I think They're really trying to make it look like they're really close. But then I think there is an article saying, oh, we're so far away from settling the oil and gas law. Okay, so now here, so this is Sunday's news. An economist shows the results of stopping trading in the Chinese yuan. This is a different one. Anyway, stopping dealing in the Chinese yuan will greatly affect the Iraqi economy, while he confirmed that the coming days will witness a significant rise in the price of the dollar against the Iraqi dinar. So, see, that's why I said it's stopping the trade with the Chinese yuan seems to be affecting the price because it's going, well, the value of dinar is decreasing daily and the cost of the dollar is rising daily, right? So we'll see. Now this was big news. They really wanted this out. So it was on the CBI. Matter of fact, they tweeted it. The CBI is on Twitter. I forget what their app name is or whatever. Central bank hosts meeting to regulate e-commerce in Iraq. So if you want to read that, I don't think this has anything to do with the RV. It's just another regulation, probably to stop fraud and smuggling. But like I said, it was big news. And here they look like they're having a very serious meeting being headed up, or is that how you say? Directed by, I guess, Ali Allah himself. Here's another one where they all have their heads down. They got their glasses on. Look how hard they're working. And then this was an article in the paper. The central bank announces the submission of the e-commerce system project paper to the Council of Ministers. So, and if it's really big, it'll be in the news. It'll be in the news again Monday. All right, this is one of those things. It's not good in my opinion. And they did what they always do. There was this announcement. Oh, the Houthis are going to open a headquarters in Iraq. And then emphatically, not emphatically, is it emphatically? No, of course that's not going to happen. Don't believe the fake news. Guess what? Houthis open a representative office in Iraq. What's the story? It's the truth. They did. And someone's already visited it. There's also a headquarters for the Popular Mobilization Forces. So, yeah, they did that. And it even says a number of tribes welcomed the Houthi delegation with chants and slogans. So, there is now a Houthi representative office in Iraq. But they'll probably say, no, that didn't really happen. They'll probably still deny it. But yeah, I believe that. All right. Here again, they were talking about the Singapore agreement. I think it's been a month, maybe even a month and a half now since they signed this. So they claim they have more details out. But yeah, so if you want to read that, it's there. Again, the blog is free. All you have to do is go there. You don't have to join anything. You don't have to pay anything. And all these articles are there for free with the link. So if you don't believe me, see it says link, you can click the link and it will take you to the actual article, which will be in Arabic. But these devices are so smart today, they translate. Here, people just like to see if Maliki's still doing things, and he is. The Somalian ambassador, is that who he is? Well, there was a delegation from Somalia. They met with Sudani also. But people always wonder if Maliki's still doing government things, and yes, he is. He met with the Somali people. Maliki confirms Iraq's support for Somalia and its keenness on its stability, progress, and prosperity. So we're almost done. Here, this was the thing that I had said earlier. This is very interesting in my opinion. The Central Bank of Iran, okay, Central Bank of Iran allocates 200,000 Iraqi dinars for each visitor. Now, I think in the past, this had been dollars or euros. So yeah, this time, so it's the Arborine pilgrimage. I'm not sure exactly when it starts. Oh, look at that. It began July 7th. So they walk from somewhere to somewhere, but meanwhile they gotta get their clothes washed, and there's all this stuff. The Iraqis line up on the pathway that they walk, and they give them food and water, and they have places there for them to wash their clothes. So they usually need money. So these are the people that are going to be entitled to get dollars also. So that'll be interesting. Oh, look, I put it there twice. I sure did. I'll have to go back and delete one of those. Let's see, what's this? And here, this is another article saying, hey, yeah, the parallel dollar rate is fluctuating, but it's not because we don't have reserve. Oh, this news is coming out all of a sudden. Okay, yeah, so here's the title of this article. Al-Sudani's advisor comments on the fluctuation of the dollar price. It does not suit the strength of Iraq's foreign reserves. But this is like 3 days in a row now that he's been out talking about, yeah, it's fluctuating, but we have reserves. And also the fixed exchange rate system. So there's 2 points that he's been hitting on 3 days in a row, that they have a lot of reserves, gold and foreign reserves. And the fixed exchange rate system in Iraq is based on international reserves, which is the highest in the history of Iraq, and its monetary policy, as foreign currency covers a percentage of more than 100% of the total currency currently issued. So that's nice, right? That's nice and reassuring, except the people don't believe them. The citizens don't believe them. And these articles are not short either. They're long. All right, here's someone else. Let me see. Ali Al-Zubaydi is a politician, an actual, he's a member of this coalition, so he's a current member of parliament. He said, Washington is working to destabilize Iraq's security. And he might be right. Okay, so we just have 2 minutes, so I just wanted to show you. They brought the big screen TVs out again. See that there? So they could watch some soccer match. So there they are. They have picnic baskets sitting on blankets in a courtyard. So see, they can bring those TVs out anytime they want. Let's see, what's this one? That didn't mean to be on that one. Okay, so there was an attempt to unalive a parliament member. See that word there? Attempt on Iraqi member of parliament prompts Mandelawi to issue an angry statement. Mandelawi is the acting House Speaker, and Sudani vowed to do an investigation. And you would think they have cameras, well, not everywhere, but they have a lot of cameras up now. But look at that, Tahoe, mostly bulletproof, right? I don't know. It looks like the bullets went through to me. But I don't think anyone was unalived, just injured. But yeah, so they don't play. And it's daylight, broad daylight. They tried to take this man out. So then what was this? Oh, here. An Iranian destroyer sinks after accident. Really? An accident. I don't know. I'm sure they'll blame us for that. But yeah, so. And, okay, I already showed you that one. That's it. So, we'll see what this week brings us. Like I said, Parliament comes back. There was no new information in the Gazette. I check daily, but the next time would be Wednesday. But I think we're day 9 or 10 of the 15 days. So those 15 days are almost over if we have to wait those 15 days. Yeah. So thank you for listening. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And yeah, if there's a join, follow, subscribe, whatever type button like that, wherever you're enjoying this content, please tap that, swipe that, click that, whichever action would be activating that. Because I don't post regularly, although I do think I'm going to post again tomorrow, but it'll be short. It'll be later in the day and short. But I don't have a regular schedule. So if you subscribe or whatever they call it, and all things work like they're supposed to, right? You'll be notified when I do post, and then you can read it. I still think everything's good. Iraq has done everything they need to do. It's just geopolitical, and now the craziness that is our presidential situation. I think that's adding. If I was Sadani, I would be like, look, I want to meet with the IMF and who's the other one? And the World Bank. Because clearly America has got some troubles right now. And I want my money. Release my money. But I'm not Sadani and I can't say that, right? But yeah, so anyway, we'll see. We'll watch and wait, right? All right. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your morning, day, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content. And until next time.